Hi everyone, this is Marcy with Creators Call. I'm so happy to be hanging out with you guys today. I was just wanting to work on a little project. Now this is something I've been doing very slowly, and I thought since I was going to work on it a little bit today, I might as well just play around and have you guys join me. So what this is a couple of the book ring style little mini journals, and these are just covers that I have that have all the pages have been used in other projects of some sort. And so I have a ton of scraps that I have trimmed down, and I have these fun colored book rings. I think these are 1.5 inch, and that's what we're going to work on today. I've been kind of doing this at my craft nights that we were having there for a while. Those are done now, and we've kind of agreed that there wasn't enough interest, so I'm not continuing anymore. But this was a nice little project to work on. And this particular one is the one we're going to work on today. Most of these I have punched already. I've got a variety of little scraps to make pockets and things and edge the pages. And I had already kind of assembled the pages in an order that I thought was pleasing. I love making these because you can do so many things with these, and it's just a marvelous way to use up your scraps, but also have lots of little pieces to write on or to pull out and use as cards for someone else, or make it into a photograph album, whatever you want to do. However, when I went to punch the holes in the cover, they're just not quite deep enough, and I need to reinforce that. So that's what we're going to do today. So what I use for punching my holes is one of these old like office style double hole punch. This is one that my husband was getting rid of out of his office, so I've got it, and I think it is the perfect size for these kind of small journals. Now you cannot adjust it. It's not like a 3-hole one. So basically where the holes are, that's where they are. And you can't adjust the width of where it punches or anything like that, but that's okay because I find it very useful for a lot of things. So unfortunately, when I cut this cover down, like I said, it didn't punch in quite far enough, and this is a very flimsy piece here. This is the heavier cardboard piece, and this is the paper edge. You know, all I did really was just slice this in half. That's all I really did. So, like I said, I'm going to be reinforcing it, and then I'm going to finish the edge so it looks pretty, but this definitely needs a little bit more help. So what we're going to use for that, let's see, let me scoot these guys out of the way. I have a ton of these little scraps of chipboard, essentially. They're mostly like the backs of notepads and paper pads and things. So when I was making mini albums, I had a lot of these. I was trying to collect chipboard left, right, and center because it's expensive when you just buy it. And so because of that, from those days, you know, when I was, and also from making spines for my other journals, I have a lot of these little pieces. And in fact, I should probably just toss these, but it seems like, you know, because chipboard is hard to find, seems like it might be a good idea to hang on to them. I don't know. All right, so if you guys are crafting along, go ahead and get your stuff together, and we will get started in just a second here. Okay, so what I did was I went through that little pile of scraps, and I have found some that are either long enough or that feel like they're the right weight, and that they will feel like they're a continuous piece of this book and just a little bit thicker. So some were too thick and some were too short. This one is just the back of a paper pad, so it feels about right, and so does this one, which is the back of a notepad, one of those spiral bound notepads. So those are perfect, but really I think using up these pieces that are too short for a regular journal spine is probably the best way to go. And on the next book, I'll try to be a little more careful about how I punch. I think I might not have just gotten this in far enough because the pages certainly have a little more space between the hole and the edge, so I don't know what happened. But this is the same weight as the one here that was the notepad, spiral notepad piece. So anyway, I'm going to just cut this basically in half, this strip, and I think I'm just going to butt it up against the edge of this cover, and then I'll trim it to size. But see how that lays in there so nicely? I think that just does a really nice job. So that's perfect. All right, so this is just a scrap that was, I mean, you don't have to measure, you can just eyeball, but why not? So roughly here is the center, so I'll be right back. Okay, and I am using my trusty dusty foam and poster board adhesive, the Beacon glue from the Dollar Tree, because that's what's on my table. You could use tacky glue, you could use anything, because I think on this, just about anything will work. So let's get to gluing. I just think these books are so cute, and they just have the most charming covers. You don't really have to do anything to the inside. These are some of my most favorite kind to make. I think I say that about every journal. They really are. I guess it's because I'm using up scraps, and it makes me feel very accomplished. So I'm probably going to save myself a step by lining that up right at the bottom. We're just going to let that sit for a second. I was watching somebody online, and she just kind of laid something heavy on all of her things, like a stamping block, and it helped everything kind of glue down and stay in place. Now this piece is a little bit wider than this, so I do need to trim it down a little bit more. Otherwise, they won't line up when I'm trying to put the hinges together. There we go. See? It's the same width. Very nice, very nice. So how is everyone doing today? I'm not exactly sure when this video is going to air. It's just something I've been wanting to make, and so I thought, let's just do it. And then I can have something completed. So I don't know if this is going to be a standalone or if there will be like a part 2 or something. Who knows? We're just gonna go where the wind leads. Play it by ear. Okay, and I think I can just trim this with the scissors. You know what? One thing I have not been doing in my videos lately that I told myself I was going to focus on is reminding you guys to give me a thumbs up. If you're enjoying the video, please give a thumbs up. And of course, the best compliment you can give is to share my channel with your friends. And always leave me comments down below, especially if you have any questions about what's going on or what tools I'm using or any of that stuff. I can always fill you in and give you a little more info. I'm trying to not over-explain, but also there are so many people new all the time that I don't want to leave out important information. So it's a balance. Okay, now what I typically do is try to make this raw edge look pretty. Even if I hadn't reinforced it, I would still be wanting to put something right along here. And this is especially important because we really want to make sure that these guys are well connected to this piece of cardboard. So one way you can do that is to use washi tape. And I just take it and I wrap it around. I usually do that when I haven't had to reinforce and extend the spine a little bit. But that is a really good way. See, like this one here is a nice match for this. And then I would just wrap it around and make sure it goes around the end. And so maybe we'll do that on the next one that we work on. But what I'm wanting to do on this particular project, she said with anticipation in her voice, breathless with anticipation. What I'm wanting to use today are strips of fabric because I also like the look that fabric gives. And I have a lot of these strips and some of them are quite cute and playful. So this is kind of the one I had in mind, but it might be too bright with the reds. But something like this, and then I would just wrap it around. So, and then I just make sure that it covers the raw edge, and definitely to cover the join here between the chipboard and the book cover. And then you can finish that like you would on a bigger size journal with a piece of rickrack or something. So obviously I need these to be about an inch and a quarter wide, or inch and a half, maybe even, because this is a wider piece. And I could trim it down a little more, but I just wanted to make sure that it covered. So let's see. Ooh, forgot about that. Oh, that one's cute. And then you also want to make sure you have enough to do both. Oh my goodness, that's stinking cute because it has the red and the pink. Let's see, some of these were strips and cast-offs from a quilt shop. Sorry, I bumped the camera. That one's a little too soft. Let's see, this one, do I have enough, first of all, to do 2? I do, but is it too coral? Her sweater's more pink than that. I'll get that up. I'm gonna move these off really quick. Those are out of the way. That one's cute too, but you know, I really, really like this blue. I think that's stinking cute, but this one might work for the other cover. Let's see, this cover, is it the same height? Just about. See, won't that be darling? Okay, so I'm gonna just lay that in there so I remember. This one I have pieces. I think I need to add some more pages, and you know, I just have a lot left to do to this one. But this is my process. They're super simple and easy. They make cute little gifts, you know, right? If you wanted to make them in a Christmas style, they could be for Christmas lists. They can be like a birthday book. It could be a mini album. It could be all of those good things. But I have several of these covers and quite a lot of scraps. And as I was cleaning out my craft room, well, I was kind of trying to reorganize it and dust it and get it clean because it's been a while since it's been dusted. But as I was doing all of that, I came across some more scraps that I didn't know I had. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here, let's see how much we really need. And I think I might just cut this in half, because that is almost 3-inch wide, so perfect. So 1.5, which is I think what we needed, right? Oh no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that at all. See, you guys got to stop me before I do something drastic. No, I want this to wrap around as much as possible. So to right about there-ish. I know it's kind of a backhanded way to do this. Let's see, how much do I need to take off? Just that much. See how I folded it over. This is what I had on the one side. I want it to match up on the back side, so I'm only taking off about 1/4 inch. So since this was 3 inches wide, to start with, that's 2 3/4 inches. And let's see, my mat tells me centimeters. Oh, it's not gonna tear. Come on, you naughty. I hate it. And you're like all set to tear and it's cut against the bias and then it won't rip. There we go. Tag string. When I make coordinating tags to go in there, to go in the pockets, now I have some string to use. Okay, all right, now we're in business. And would I like my tulips to face towards the kids or away from the kids? I'm leaning towards. That's a little redundant. I think towards is nice. So let's see, I already cut this in half, so let's just, I already measured for twice the height, so let's just do it like this, because we already know that's enough. See if it tears better. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, let's get out our fabric glue. Use your 3-in-1, use another fabric glue. I know that people say art glitter glue works on fabric. It has never worked for me on fabric, unfortunately. The Aleene's has a fabric glue that I have used in the past, and I don't know that the white tacky glue really will work. Okay, so we want to get this kind of straight. Kind of straight would be nice, wouldn't it? And kind of in the middle. So maybe a little more Let's see. This is where this mat is so handy, because if I line it up, there's a quarter, and so right up against that dark line will be perfect. Wow, it's still a little too tall, but that's okay. We're good. Better to have a little bit more and then cut it off than to not have enough and have it be a little short. Okay, that isn't exactly center, obviously, because I have more now on the front than the inside. Let's not cover the title. Okay, sorry, I know I'm doing a lot of fiddling and I apologize. It's just I want it to look right, but I need to know that I have enough for the back side. And now, of course, my glue won't come out. Yep. Craft room difficulties. Okay, it's going to cover up that second G on growing just a little bit, but that's okay. There. All right, so even though I trimmed it in half and trimmed it down and all that jazz, it's still not exactly right, but we don't need it to be perfect. We just need it to look good. Good enough is good enough. That's the whole point of junk journals, right? Doesn't have to be perfect. So it will come in a little bit further on the inside cover, and I'm okay with that. I'd rather have it cover too much on the inside than on the outside cover. And maybe we'll do the reverse on this one, because there's nothing lovely to look at here. Okay, madam. I did find it interesting, if you ever read some of these, this Mary Alice Jones. She was a child psychologist, and she was consulted on a lot of these books so that they were accurate, biblical accuracy, and also that they were, you know, understandable for children, which I think is super cool. Thank you to the 1950s for doing that. I just found it really interesting the one day I finally sat down and read that. She was on a lot of these book projects. What's the word? Consultant. Boy, my words. Yeah, this ties in with my craft mat too. Isn't that lovely? Straight, please. There we go. Lots of these little threads hanging off, going everywhere. Okay, and now there we go. So the glue is oozing through the fabric just a little bit. We're gonna have to let that dry. And maybe I should have spread it out with my fingers, but I'm not as worried about it when it's right here on the spine, you know. Oh, so cute. Okay. And then I'm gonna take my pinking shears and just give it a little trim right just on the outside of both of these covers, edges, so that it hangs over just the easiest bit. I always like that. I think it looks so decorative when you do that. Okay, so there's that. So I guess the next question is, do I want to put anything along here? I mean, it looks pretty cute with the torn edge, and it's glued pretty well, so it's not going to fray or anything. Otherwise, I would just put a teeny tiny rickrack, but again, I don't want to cover up the words. So that's what we will do. Okay. So unfortunately, we have to let this dry. Unfortunately, I say, because Marcy is impatient. But then when we do, after it's dry, I can slide this in here, make sure it's all the way to the back, and punch it. But if I do it now, it's gonna stick. Those pieces will stick inside my hole punch, so that would be sad. So maybe while we're doing that, we can work on edging some of these pages. I've got to get this back in there now. Nice. And we can put some of the little decorative pieces inside for a few minutes. And then it should be pretty much ready to go. I will say, by the time you see this video, I will have these listed in my Ko-fi shop. So remember, I'm transitioning from the Etsy to the Ko-fi site, and I can do more things over at Ko-fi. You know what I do want to do right here, though? Which means I have to take it off the book rings. Come on. First of all, let's not get it out of order. Second of all, I want to reinforce these plastic holes. So I can do it with the page reinforcers, or I can do it with a strip of paper. So again, we need one that is a little bit wider, a strip, and that can, since that's 3/4, we want, again, about 1.5 inches or 2 inches wide. And paper would be nice because it's easier to fold. There's my little note about how many pages are in there. I think there's more than 55 now. Scrapbook paper is a nice option for this because it bends better. Now this one's thinner. Yeah, let's clash. Let's just get crazy with all the colors here, huh? Those are too busy. What do I want? I wasn't anticipating this. I might just wait and come back to that. Oh, this might work. Is this tall enough? Oh, look at that. And neutral enough. Hurrah, hurrah. Okay. So let's make it 1 3/4, just to make sure. 1 3/4 inches wide. Just to make sure we have enough to fold around. Nice. And then I will score it because if I don't, my folding is suspect. It does not. It doesn't come out straight, and then we'd be fiddling with it forever, so we might as well just cut to the chase. Okay, 1 3/4. So 1.5 was at 3/4. 1 3/4 is an extra 1/8 of an inch on each side. So we're doing this, scoring this at 7/8 of an inch to get a 1 3/4 inch fold. And if I said that too fast, please back up the video 10 seconds or so, and you can slow it down and listen to it, or just pause it and listen to it, but that explains how I got to that. Now I'm going to glue one side and then the other side. I have found in my experience of doing this that the beacon glues that do the plastic, so the 3-in-1 or this foam and poster board, which of course is meant to adhere to plastic, are the best options for this. I have tried double-sided tape, but it just pulls up from the plastic, and so I ended up having to go back and reinforce the double-sided tape with the glue, with the beacon glue. So you might as well just glue it with that to start with. Save yourself an unnecessary step. There we go. So I'm going to run some along right here and one along the outside edge, and that should line up just right. That is cute. Wow, that is super cute. Okay, so once again, we have to let it dry. Must be patient. So what's happening here? Oh, the inside is not glued shut. I see. Okay, well that will be fine, because when we punch the holes and it goes in the rings, see, this is one of those that doesn't have a seam right here. And if I was really worried about it, I could sew a seam, but I'm not that worried about it. Like I said, once I punch it and put it into the book rings, it should take care of that problem, because everything will be kind of weighing down on it. Yeah, I'm just gonna lay that there. Okay, so it's in all the way to the back. I've got it bumped up here. Now on these, you just center your piece and push these little metal slider bar thingies in from each end so that you know it's centered. You should have an even amount on each side, and then even amount of space on each side, and then you just punch. Hopefully that didn't make the camera go crazy. Now I will say, this is not meant for fabric, so you may have to do some adjusting, but look at that. Can you see what I'm doing? I got to get that little piece off of there. Here's the back cover. Here's the front cover. I'm gonna make sure that I had the top of the book facing that way both times, because then it should line up. If these are slightly off, then my book rings will line up, and I think that's how I did it when I punched the rest of the pages. But that was a month ago. Okay. So it's punching almost all the way through, but not getting that last fabric layer, which is okay. No biggie. There we go, there's the front cover, here's the back cover. So now I can start threading. Maybe. I might take a break here and okay, that's done. I realized I didn't finish my sentence. I was saying I might take a minute and do this off camera. And I did. That always takes a little bit of time. Okay, so this should be dry now. It's sufficiently dry that we can punch it. And I always like to take the card out just to make sure that that is the case. So as you can see, this is slightly shorter than the book cover. And instead of pushing in my slider pieces, I'm a little bit up high, aren't I? Instead of pushing in the slider pieces, I'm just going to eyeball that I have the same amount of space on either side. And there we go. Voila. I'll just put that back in. Oh. And then I'll just put this piece back in. Maybe. Ta-da! Oh, we gotta put the front cover on. Okay. How could I forget that? I don't know, but oh, look at that. Oh my goodness, how stinking cute. So I'm noticing there were a couple places where I put some pockets and trim edge pieces earlier. I'd kind of like to, if I can, focus on putting these on the back sides of some of these where it's like a single-sided cardstock, except for that one where it's just cute. Although I could do that, couldn't I? All right, let's do it. So this will make a cute little pocket. And for this, I'm just going to use my little glue bottle that makes the fine line. And this is Art Glitter Glue. And do we want to put a little divot? Why not? Is that enough glue right there? That looks like it isn't quite enough. I also got out my little package of laces. So if I feel like adding some trim, a little lace trim here and there, or at least just to the cover, I can do that, or to the bottom of a page. It just depends. Depends on what I'm feeling. These are so cute. Let's re-punch that hole. There we go. I thought this kind of honeybee color, gold color would look good with the honeybee theme on the front side. There's that, there's that. So like this could benefit from a little piece of something, but probably not that. Because that is not pretty together. Ooh. So here's a good place for some extra trim. That's where we stuff all the, ooh, this might work. Look at that. Although this might work on the front if I want it to. Oh my goodness. It would only go on the front though, because it's not long enough to go, not quite long enough to go on two covers. But it is long enough to go on the front cover and this if I want. I was thinking more of a crocheted kind of a trim. Oh, this one would be cute. I'm wanting something kind of in this off-white, and since it's little children, that'd be cute. Little children on the cover, kind of a little child theme. Back to the fabric glue. Wait, do I want that or do I want this pretty lacy one? I kind of want the lacy one, but lacy one, sorry, last minute change, but I'm going to keep this out because maybe that could go on the back cover if I use rickrack on the front. These are great for stash busting, scrap busting, I think is what Diane H calls it. Scrap busting? Scrap busters? Somebody calls it that. There you go. I'm gonna hold it in place just for a sec. Put some things away while we wait for it to catch, wait for it to grab. There we go. Nice. Here, a little dressy piece. Let's see what else we got. I am going to lay a slick, like sticker backing. I lay the slick side down so it doesn't stick to the next page while it finishes drying. A lot of stuff here. Oh, he didn't get caught. That's a really old postcard from Dots way back, and I never could figure out how to use them. So there you go. Some of these like this, I found these at a secondhand store, and they were all pieces somebody had cut off to make cards, and these are just floating like a flap, but you could just write underneath there and use it like a paper flip instead of a fabric flip. So it looks like I have some of these done already. Yeah, that one's a pocket, I'm pretty sure. Or did I just... Oh, it's not. It's I glued it together and folded it over so it was pretty on both sides. That's what I did. This one would be pretty with something on it, wouldn't it? That's the thing, they're all so busy. Maybe this one. This one had, I don't know, I bought it at a thrift store, so it's like it's got bits of coffee dye or something on it already. I mean, it kind of adds to the old look. So I could do it in either direction. That's cute. Let's do it like that. Oh, here's a piece of white. And here's a piece of red. Wow, I'm just swimming in rickrack bits. Cute. We've got this is a dry paper towel today. Oh, see, it's not. You're not staying. What's going on there? Do I need to stick more of you on? Let me do another line of glue. If that doesn't work, I'll show you my fix. I do have a fix for these situations. And my fix is, in case you're wondering, I usually just take something thin, like a thinner trim or like this rickrack or something, and I just run another line of glue and lay it on top because it helps secure this to the paper through all the holes. So if we have to do that, we will, but I'm not jumping straight to that quite yet. These are all my little pieces of lace that are 12 inches or less, because you never quite know what to do with those, but for these kinds of projects, it's perfect. Okay, that is just a little bit long. Okay, so let's find something plain Like maybe this one will work, except it's pretty close to this. If I'm going to use that paper for the tag, I probably don't want it right there. And this is too white, so no. What do I got here? I'll make a cute tag too, wouldn't it? Let's just keep going. Well, actually, now that I see this, I could. This goes nicely with that paper, doesn't it? That's cute. Okay, let's do that really fast. I thought I had two of those. I guess not. Maybe there's one waiting for the other journal. And then I hope to make two more, so we'll see how far we get before this airs and how many are in the shop. But if they're not all four in my Ko-fi shop, which is linked below, if you don't see all four of them right off the bat, then it means I'm still working on the other two. And I can post on there when things are ready, so if you follow my Ko-fi shop, then the posts will show up. I just tell you that things are available, and then it'll show up in your feed, and then you don't have to guess. Yeah, that's cute. That needs a little, I feel glue on my finger. Come here. We don't want it to stick, so I got another one of those. You know, I just never know what I might want to do, so I just go ahead and keep filling up. Too white. Not convinced. See, now I am kind of convinced, because see how I need things on the back side here? Yeah, that's better. I could probably still glue this down with these in there, because it gives it some structure to hang on to. And I could glue this so you could still glue something behind, but I'm not gonna. I just need to find out what, or decide what I want to put on top. I do have stickers. Yeah, I'll get out my stickers in a little bit and I'll put something here. If I do a flip through, you'll see it. Okay, there's that. Let's figure out where to put this. I'm just going to put this on as either a side tuck or a bottom tuck. This is something I did ages ago, just playing around, so. There's a pocket. I'm going to slide that in there so I remember to do something with it. These are fun because they really do use up the pieces and the scraps, and they don't have to, you know, all make sense together. I'm noticing that on here, it's got the brand thing, so maybe we can just put a little bit of decorative paper lace. That one's not quite long enough is my problem. I could do this though. This one's thick. Might help the page lay down though. That looks nice, doesn't it? There's no right or wrong. No rhyme or reason. I mean, there's some rhyme and reason, but not overthinking the whole thing. Right there. Oh yeah, that does kind of help that flap lay down, doesn't it? And it does something nice in there. Okay, so let's figure out where to put this last little thing, and then we'll be done because we're out of time. That's what happens. I don't do a lot of inking in these generally, in case you're wondering. I try to keep them kind of simple because they have so many uses that you can do all kinds of things for them, in them, you know? And so there's lots of room to write, lots of room to glue things. Lots of. Let's see, kind of getting a flip through right now. It definitely needs a page. Oh, see, I've already done that. So it's good I didn't use it in the other spot. I kind of am looking for a page that isn't completely white. Can you do that? It will fit if I take it off, and it breaks up these clouds a bit, so that's fine. And then later, if I want to put a sticker right here, I could do that too. I just like that this is an index card. I think that's cute. Or I could add a little butterfly or something right here. Like he's flying off into the clouds. That'd be cute too. Options. The options are endless. I know I say that quite often, but it's true. It's nice to have a few options. I think that's one of the things I really enjoy about junk journaling is that it doesn't have to be so structured. I am a perfectionist, and this just really helps me to create without having to be so precise, you know. I used to think I might become a quilter in my old age, but two things. No, it's too fussy, and B, I might not have the eyesight for it if I ever get around to that. But I like the looseness and the freestyle of junk journals. So. And that was one reason why I moved away from mini albums as well, because I just didn't have the, they're so precise. Like I didn't feel like I ever knew what the heck I was doing, you know? I kind of like that right there, but I wanted to decorate that. So what I'm gonna have to do is go and punch some more paper edges with my lace punches, and then come back and decorate up a few more of these because it definitely could use it. See, I'm trying to put that on that side. Oh, they're both green. Awesome. Well, maybe I'll put it on the butterfly side. That's pretty. Anyway, so you can add little bits and pieces to this, to these little journals, and they turn out great. Okay, so I'm going to finish gluing here. And while I do that, I'm going to wish you guys a good week. I hope you guys have something fun going on that you can look forward to. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you're up to. And until next time, be inspired and do something creative today. And I will talk to you in the next video. All right, bye-bye now.